So welcome to Liverpool, first of all, Bryce.
Thank you so much.
Two questions. First of all, what are the pros and cons of working in the volume, directing in it? And the second question is it a coincidence that you're in the UK at the same time they are doing Ahsoka?
Well, I am in the UK for this convention. And I have lots of friends in London, so I'm going to visit there afterwards. And I would love the chance to work on Ahsoka one day. That would be a huge, huge, just dream of mine. Absolutely, I would love that. So the pros and cons of the volume. So I'm a little bit like, okay, let me take my jacket off. It's a long one. Okay, so the volume. The volume is how we shoot a lot of Mandalorian. And it's called the volume, which is a little bit esoteric, but really what it is it's a sound stage, it's like this. And there's a big kind of like round, almost sort of egg-shaped thing, and those are all screens. And what's really cool is you step in there and it's sort of like the holodeck. Like you're like, oh my gosh, like suddenly I'm looking around and I'm on Tatooine, and it's amazing, and I can't see that there's a screen. Like to the human eye, you cannot tell that you're not in that environment. So it's really, really cool getting to shoot in the volume. And sometimes the volume breaks. and then your set is gone. And so I would say that's with any kind of technology, especially technology that's emerging, you need to be really patient and understand that, not plan for a best case scenario, you need to plan for a worst case scenario. And that's sort of the balance of working within the volume. I love shooting practically, and one of the things that Jon Favreau really taught all of the directors who've worked on Mandalorian is that in order to sell the technology and for it to not feel weird, you have to shoot a scene based on what you would be able to do practically, not what you can do now that you have this technology. So a good example is we're all used to seeing when you're watching a movie or a show and it's being filmed at magic hour, that's a very difficult thing to get because it's magic hour. It's just an hour. And so when you're shooting magic hour practically, which means, in real life, you would shoot like the magic hour shot. And then once magic hour was done, you would turn around on the person and like getting their kind of, their performance, and you would need to light that artificially. And so when we actually see now stuff in the volume where we're able to, we get the beautiful magic hour and then you turn around, if you don't light that in a way that we're used to seeing it on movies, it'll look fake even though it's real, which is fascinating to me. So you have to think about how things have been shot in the past so that audiences can process, so that their brains can process the story. Otherwise, our brains suddenly go, that's different than every other time I've seen the reverse of a magic hour shot, even though you're not actually thinking those things literally, you sense it. So anyway, that's why I took off my jacket.
Thank you very much, and may the four be with you.
Thank you, and you.
Number 4 today. Number 1.
Hi, thank you for being here, Bryce. Obviously, everybody loves you in the Jurassic Park and Jurassic World areas. My son is absolutely obsessed with dinosaurs, obviously all the Jurassic Park films as well. He's actually messaged me to ask, what's your favourite quote from any of the films?
Oh gosh, what's my favorite quote? I mean, I think this is very simple, but it's life finds a way. It's very powerful. It's an important reminder. I was signing an autograph yesterday, and I saw life finds a way. I was like, right, good reminder, life finds a way. And so I think that is, that's one of the things that Jurassic represents. Sci-fi movies, sci-fi stories, it's all based on the question, what if? What if human beings and dinosaurs could coexist? And so it's wonderful to be reminded of these very kind of human just pieces of human wisdom that end up in stories, you know. With great power comes great responsibility. That's another one. That's Spider-Man, obviously. But these are powerful ideas that, when shared, with young people especially, they make an impression. So life finds a way.
Perfect, thank you.
Thank you so much.
I'm going to jump all the way back to number 3. Hello, mate.
Hi Bryce, my name's Ava. My question is, who inspires you to become an actress? Because you've inspired me to be one.
Oh my gosh, Ava, I'm so glad that you're acting. That means so much to me. Goodness gracious. I mean, honestly, so many people. I think that, gosh, I mean, it's kind of going back a little bit. I always loved watching Katharine Hepburn. I was like, I relate to her. and kind of like, you know, some of the older movies, Barbara Stanwyck, you know, it's really wonderful to go back and see those performances because they're so vibrant and relevant still today. I've also been really inspired by actors who direct. Barbara Streisand, you know, she's a multi-hyphenate. Robert Redford. So, you know, it's just, I think I'm just constantly impressed with what I see. I'm always not casting myself in things where I'm being like, no, you shouldn't cast me. You should cast these 7 other people who are going to be so much better than me, because it's just glorious, the talent that's out there. And yeah, it's why I love this industry, because we get to kind of celebrate what people can do. So I'm so glad that you're acting. Please come find me one day, and we should definitely try to work together. That's very cool.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Do you have like a dream role, or have you done it? Is there a role that you think I would love to do that?
I don't dream in that way, which is interesting. I am always shocked when I get cast as something. I've never really, I've been ambitious for the process, ambitious in terms of wanting to be on set, wanting to be in support of filmmakers and their vision, wanting to learn from them. I've always craved scenarios that are very physical, that have, you know, some sort of dabbling with emerging technology in some way, shape, or form. But I've never thought about specific roles, and it's weird because I think people do. I would like to do a solo show one day. I think that would be something that would be really fun.
What, like a one-person show?
Yeah.
Something you've written for you, or is it something you've written right yourself?
Probably something that I've written, but we'll see. We'll see one day.
That's a spoiler. There's going to be a show. There's going to be. We all know it's going to be a show now. Number 2.
I would want it to have magic in it.
It has to have magic in it.
Yeah, right?
Any sort of side when it comes to fantasy, there's magic. I absolutely adore those films, and I'm convinced that I can do magic.
But it would be a show, like a live theater show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When it's come to, I remember when I saw Wicked in the West End on press night with the original cast in London, and the way they made the magic look on stage was so cool, because even though it was mechanical, it's like, most of you here are going to be too young for this, but do you remember the original Superman? Well, not the original, the one with Christopher Reeves, where all of the stunts and the effects were mechanical. So it did look like some of them were terrible, like you can see it as a toy village with a tap on. But other than that, there was something, it looked like he was pushing the bus. And when they do stuff like that, it looks even more cool, because your brain goes, it could be real. Yes. Which I think is the magic of film. When you go, like you said, imagine if. I still think we're in the Matrix.
I agree, we are. Correct.
Number 2.
Hi, my name's Robert, and my mum says hello as well.
Hello, Robert and Robert's mum.
Hello to who?
To Bryce. Sorry.
Hurtful. Tell your mum never text me again.
So we're massive Jurassic World fans in our household. Claire's our favourite character. And what we'd really like to know is, I mean, we'd really like to see it, but is there a possibility of you coming back to the franchise?
I mean, always. What I love so much about this franchise is that it is about an idea that is larger than any one actor or performer. So Jurassic can go on and on and on, and there's a lot to still mine there. So I will, down the road, if there's a chance, for Claire and Owen to make an appearance, Maisie, all of that, that would be really cool. I would absolutely love that. But as a fan, I am so excited about Jurassic World Rebirth. I am so looking forward to it. I have no idea what it's actually about. I'm like, are they on Isla Sorna? Like, what's happening here? It seems like it's very intimate. It's going back to a lot of, the original writer, David Kapp. So I'm really excited about that, and I'm excited for the story to continue.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
You're obviously a huge fan of film and cinema. Do you still go to the cinema?
Yeah.
What was the last film you watched?
That's a good question. Wicked.
Wicked was...
Yeah,
Wicked
but
was
wait. I was going to go see Sinners last week, but then I was seeing it with my dad and son, and I was told I shouldn't see it with my dad and my son, and so I didn't go last week. But
Why is it dirty?
Well, not dirty, but I think the word that someone said was, I think it's sexy. I think it's a sexy movie. Yeah.
Where's the 8-year-old? She means dirty. She means, don't let her lie to you. Learn. She means filth. I've got to stop myself. Where have we got to? I'm going to go number one, please. Hello, mate.
Hi, Bryce. Of course it is Star Wars Day, so my question's Star Wars related. I do love you from stuff like Jurassic World and Spider-Man 3, but I love how you've managed to start directing, and one of your first bits was on Mandalorian. And of course, you have a personal history with George Lucas because your dad directed Solo and worked with George on films like American Graffiti. I just wondered, what's it been like to work with Dave Filoni, who Hayden's referred to as George's own protege?
Yeah, he is. And I mean, I've talked to George about Dave, and he says Dave is like a son to him. And it's an incredible honor, and it is such a relief to be collaborating with someone like Dave, whose heart is in the right place, and who has really put in the time. I mean, in Star Wars, I love so much what you learn about, the kind of master-apprentice dynamic, and how long it takes to learn something. And it doesn't come naturally right away. And what's so beautiful is that Dave Filoni really had that dynamic with George Lucas for years and years and years. And so it makes sense for him to be continuing on that legacy. And the first time I met Dave, I was writing something, that's how I my first way into Lucasfilm was I was writing something for them. And Dave, there was a big story session, and Dave went up to a whiteboard and wrote at the top of the whiteboard, George. And he was like, do not forget that this is at the center of Star Wars. You need to have an understanding of his influences. You need to have an understanding of his intentions. You need to have a profound connection to the creator in order to fully understand Star Wars. And I think that's really beautiful because I love George Lucas and I agree with Dave Filoni. So it's been a gift getting to work with him. And of course, Jon Favreau as well, who is just absolutely a genius, one of the kindest people I've ever met, and is brilliant for bringing Dave Filoni into The Mandalorian and into his creative process, and knowing that was going to be a key component to honoring the franchise as a whole.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Over to number two.
Hi. The question that I'm asking is on behalf of my brother, who was able to meet you yesterday, but unfortunately couldn't be here today. So he always plays a game called Jurassic World Evolution, where you can essentially make your own park. So what I was hoping I could ask you is, if you were to make your own park, what would be your star attraction?
Whew. Okay, so it's so interesting because, you know, Jurassic Park, it's a cautionary tale. It's sort of like, should we open a park with dinosaurs? And the answer is a resounding no, we shouldn't. And yet, I love to imagine things like this, and I think we all do. And it's you know, the sort of the technology is actually possible now to like I was speaking with an evolutionary biologist who just brought back the dire wolf, who's been extinct for 12,000 years because of human beings. And I was like, you know, dinosaurs? She's like, oh, that's easy. Literally, she was like, that is easy. So if I was to bring back an animal, I think it wouldn't be a predator. I think it would be, I mean, I don't know, it would be a dinosaur. I wish I had a better imagination than this, but I would bring back a brachiosaurus. Like, I would do exactly what they did in the movie. But yeah, I would want to bring back a brachiosaurus because I love this movie, Land Before Time. And I named my dog Littlefoot growing up, and so yeah, I'm obsessed with brachiosaurus.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Is there one at number 4?
Yep, sorry, 2 seconds.
No, we'll wait.
Sorry. Hi, I just want to say thank you so much for coming to Liverpool, and we all love you. How does it feel to have worked alongside people like Steven Spielberg and with like Chris Pratt, and even with the original trio like Sam Neill, Jeff Goldblum and Laura Dern? How did it feel?
Oh my gosh, okay, so all of those are wonderful human beings, and that's part of the joy of getting to work, is that you're getting to kind of encounter so many just charismatic, brilliant, warm-hearted humans. I don't know, has anyone in this room ever encountered Jeff Goldblum? Raise your hand if you have. Yeah, he's the jazziest, warmest, isn't he the most scrumptious human being on planet Earth? Like, did you? Oh my God, amazing. He is just a superb human. My assistant who I was working with during Jurassic is a huge Jeff Goldblum fan. And when Jeff knows that he's about to meet folks, he'll get their names in advance and memorize all of them. So before he ever stepped foot on Jurassic World, he had memorized the names of everyone who was working on Jurassic, everyone. And so my assistant went up to him the first day and was just like, hi, I wanted to say I'm a huge fan. My name is Sonia. And he went, Sonia Aurora? Sonia Aurora Lepe? And she was like, like it was unbelievable. And I've seen Jeff be so conscientious, and I'm amazed by him as a human being. Sam Neill is devastatingly handsome and very sexy. Sorry, children in the room. I adore him. Laura Dern is like the big sister I never had and wish I did, and she's just the life of the party and brings everyone together and is just like butter. She's like, it's like an inside joke. We're all like, Laura's like butter. She's like human butter, just so delicious. So, you know, and Chris Pratt is a ball. Chris is a blast. He's the greatest guy. And so, you know, getting to be around individuals like that, and people also who I looked up to a lot and still look up to them. You know, it's like that thing of like, don't meet your heroes, or maybe actually meet your heroes because they might be better than you ever possibly could have imagined, and it sort of gives you a bar to rise up to. So it's very cool.
Stop it.
Good segue, actually.
I'm trying to stay humble out here. Right, I've actually that was number 4, wasn't it? Yeah. Is that still number 3? Hello, mate.
Hi.
Hi.
Yeah, hi Bryce. We actually met yesterday at a photo shoot and an autograph. And believe it or not, we actually had matching clothes.
We did.
Yeah.
We did. We had a red shirt song and jeans, and that was very cool.
That really, and just getting to talk with you yesterday and talk about like your work on Jurassic World, Star Wars, and even Spider-Man 3, and about your father, Ron Howard, it just absolutely made my day and my weekend. And and I guess my question that I want to ask is, also, I took your word, I took your advice to heart, and I met Chantel.
I know, she told me, and then Chantal and I took a photo shoot afterwards of we were both wearing the red and the red. Anyway.
But so I guess my last question is, my last question is, so earlier you were talking about hoping to maybe one day do like a one-woman show. And that reminded me, and of course it reminded me of like all the directing work you've done on The Mandalorian, and that I've always wondered, like, have you ever considered like maybe doing a directorial feature film debut, like and if so, would it be like an adaptation of something, a biopic about someone's life, or would it be a completely original piece?
Well, thank you. Yes, I definitely want to be directing a feature narrative movie. I'm developing Flight of the Navigator right now. I don't know if any of you know Flight of the Navigator. Love that movie. And there's another movie that I've been developing with Colin Trevorrow, who was the director for Jurassic World and writer. And so there's definitely, there are things there are irons in the fire, as they say, in terms of trying to do a feature. We'll kind of see what happens. I'll do a little plug here. I have directed 2 feature documentaries, one many years ago called Dads, which is on Apple TV+. And then I did another documentary that just came out about a week ago called Pets. And it's on Disney+. So if any of you out there are pet lovers, there's a movie for you on Disney+. It is 1 hour and 20 minutes and very brief and celebratory. And so I would encourage you to check that out. So, thank you.
You're developing Flight of the Navigator. Very, very classic film. When you go to develop or work on something like that, what's the pressure like? Because you think right now there's so many remakes and all the things people have done, and the pressure that goes on a remake to get it right.
Yes.
How's that?
So that's such an interesting question, and there is a little bit of a struggle because a lot of these projects end up needing to be very confidential. And I really believe in putting pressure on projects and stress testing them and having focus groups and having, asking people feedback and engaging with fans and being like, what do you really want to see? Is what you want to see what I want to see? And just kind of testing that. And so I would say the pressure is less so me thinking about like, oh no, like everyone, and more sort of active, because it's like, okay, how am I going to find out what folks want, what they're craving, what to avoid? How can I do this in a way that also still retains the confidentiality of the project?
Yeah.
When my dad knew that he was going to be stepping in on Solo, there were a couple of journalists who I really trust. I can't believe that I'm about to admit this. A couple of journalists I really trust. They kept this totally private. Huge Star Wars fans. They were visiting the set of Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, and I pulled them into a tent. And I was like, if someone was to do something in the Star Wars world around Han Solo, what is important to keep in mind? And they were like, boom, 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 boom. And it was incredible information. And so I think it is really crucial to keep that line open. It's one of the reasons why I love coming to conventions, because I get to actually hear what folks are excited about, what folks are less excited about. I believe nothing great is created in a vacuum. We are meant to be collaborating with one another. This is collaborative storytelling. Yes, sometimes the director gets the credit. I'm here to tell you that it's not just a one-person job. It is thousands and thousands of people coming together and applying themselves. And so the more that can be kind of a sort of a group thing, the better for me.
What is your favourite remake?
I don't know, name some.
Footloose. I loved the remake of Footloose. I think they did a brilliant job. Because with that remake, they told the story, but they told it in a very...
I didn't see the remake.
I forget it, I'll just go.
So rude. But now I know what I need to watch tonight.
You've seen the original, right?
Yes.
You'll love the remake.
Okay, great.
It's modernised. Miles Teller's brilliant in it. But they've modernised it, but they've kept it... They've kept the heart of the show, the film, the same.
Yep.
So that's what I want when I see a remake, because some of them, Roadhouse, some of them. Do you see Roadhouse? Give me a check if you saw Roadhouse. Yeah, Conor McGregor, what are you doing, dude? That was one of the worst things I've ever seen. I've seen racism. There's
That is the worst insult I've ever heard my entire life, and so powerfully effective. Wow.
My intrusive thoughts are going, stop saying words. Words are not your friend. I'm going to go to the nice people now. Number 2, you look like a much nicer person than I do. What's your question?
Thank you so much. Hi, Bryce. I was just wondering, like, if you were to direct a Jurassic film, where would you want to take it? And did the franchise go in the direction that you wanted it to go?
Oh gosh, that's such a good question. Well, I mean, we'll see, because the franchise is continuing, and I have absolutely no idea what it is, but I'm very excited, and I like the intimacy of it. Like I'm excited about that. In terms of Jurassic World Rebirth, and what I've seen, like, teasers and all of that. I mean, I'm someone who's very excitable. So I get excited at a lot of different possibilities. I'm curious. Dr. Wu, I'm very curious about him. I'm very curious about his kind of origin story. All those scientists coming up with all those dinosaurs on, Sorna. What was that like in the 80s? Those things are like, I have fun thinking about all of that. And I've sort of left what the story is going to be going into the future in a place where I'm like, I don't necessarily have opinions. I'm just eager. I'm just hungry for more story. Cool.
And number 1.
Hiya. So you star in my favourite episode of Black Mirror. I was just wondering, what do you think happens to your character Lacey after all of the events of the episode?
Well, she falls in love. I mean, it's a love story at the end when she's yelling expletives at the incredibly handsome gentleman in the jail cell across from her. I love that that's a happy ending too. It's hilarious. I think that, there's the Cherry Jones character who's driving the truck, and she's sort of unhooked herself from social media and the implications of that, and is kind of going her own way. And I would like to think that Lacey Pound sort of forever was like, yeah, I'm going to put this behind me. This is not healthy. What's interesting is that I was a late adopter when it came to social media. I was a holdout, and I joined social media for the first time 2 weeks before I did that episode. And my goodness, to go from 0 social media to it was 2016. So at that time, it was all the platforms that still exist were available then. It was like, I felt like I was going nuts. Like, it was incredibly stressful very, very, very quickly. And so for myself, I've tried to kind of disengage or have boundaries so that I don't sort of spiral like Lacey Pound did. And I would like to think that she also arrived at that realization.
Thank you.
Thanks.
And I spy someone at number 4.
Hi Bryce, I do musical theatre. Do you have any acting tips?
Oh my goodness, I love musical theater. Is there a show that you've done that you really liked?
We've done a few, but the upcoming ones are Newsies and 6.
Oh, very cool, excellent. So I would say that for myself as an actor, it's I just talked about how I get very excited. I would chase your excitement. So, if you hear about something that you're really excited about, know that it might be right for you, so trust that instinct always. And then the other thing that I would say is, honestly, the more that you can explore something, do you know what improvisation is?
Yeah.
Have you ever heard about that? Comedy, yeah? So it's usually comedic. Learning improvisation is a really wonderful tool to have as an actor, because it allows you to kind of not be so stiff and allows you to understand the psychology of a character, and even more, learn how to play with the other actors in a way that you're really supporting the other actors and that they're ultimately supporting you. So I would, if you can take any improv classes as you're growing up, that's going to be very, very useful. I did a movie called Deep Cover that's coming out in June. It's rated R, but it's not too bad. I think it's for language, and it's about a group of improv comedians kind of breaking into an underground criminal world and basically trying to survive. They're going undercover, and so just anything that you can do with improv it's really fun. Really, really fun. Also, Amy Poehler's masterclass is excellent, and she talks about improv in that.
Okay, thank you. Just before you go, can you give a shout out to my musical theatre school, Stage School?
Yeah, so what is it called again?
Stage School in Bathgate.
Stage Skill?
Stage School.
Stage School. All right, yeah. I shout out to Stage School and everything that you guys are doing. It's fantastic.
Thank you
Put
so
on
much.
shows. Thank you.
I think we'll have time for one more from each of you. So up at number 3.
Hi Bryce. You were part of a really controversial scene that's become known as heelgate, which I think is ridiculous because I don't know at what point Claire was meant to go back and put sneakers on.
Yeah.
But I just wonder, what was your reaction when you saw that in the script, and how many takes did it take?
Oh, yeah. Well, how are you doing with your heels over there? I see Claire Daring over there. How are you feeling?
Already.
Yeah, it was so interesting because it wasn't that wasn't written in the script. That wasn't something that was part of it. It was just, we figured out what my costume was going to be. I remember I kept saying to the costume designer, shouldn't I don't know, maybe wear sort of boots so I'm a little more protected? And he was like, no, exactly. The point is that you're not protected. The point is that this is someone who's living on an island, but she's dressed in corporate attire. She is not connected to the natural world. And so it was important for me to be in an outfit that looked like it was going to be impossible to survive. High heels, all white, like, oh gosh, this person is going to just absolutely be destroyed when they, leave the office. And so that was something that we just kind of naturally landed on, and it was always a question of, would I take off the heels at some point? And so Colin, the director, let me make the decision, and we worked out filming-wise when we would need to make the call in terms of continuity. And I remember I got to the scene where I am like, I'm ready to go. I push up my sleeves. I'm like, I'm ready to go. That was the scene where I could have taken off my heels, and it was really wet. We were by a waterfall. There were worms in the ground that I saw. I was scared of snakes, and I was like, I'll just keep these heels on. How about that? How about I don't go barefoot? And so yeah, that was kind of how it all transpired. But people, when we were shooting it, they weren't, like, it wasn't that big a deal. And I remember thinking to myself, this is very impressive and no one is giving me credit. Like, honestly, I was like, I'm doing ankle exercises every day. Like, this is hardcore. And you know, we didn't really make a thing of it. And then when the movie came out and that was a thing, I was like, yes, thank you. It's insane. It's insane.
Thank you.
Very pretty number 2.
Hi Bryce, I'm just wondering how you relax at the end of the day. Are you still doing your watercolouring, or is there any books that you're kind of recommending at the moment?
Yeah. Thanks for that question. So I got really into watercolor. I'm 44 years old, and at the age of 41 or 42, it was actually when Jurassic was coming out, July of 2022. I picked up, you know, it was kind of sad. It was the end of Jurassic, and was sort of having a hard time saying goodbye to everybody, and someone gave me a little watercolor kit, and I just picked it up and started doing it. And it was, honestly, it was like heroin. I could not stop. I'm obsessed with watercolor. And so that continued. I love it. Yes. And so I
doesn't love heroin.
You know, like heroin. So I continued on with that, and actually in the last year and a half, I've been enrolled in an online fine arts program, and I'll be graduating in October. So then shifted over to fine art drawing, oil painting, mixed media, all of that, and it's called Milan Art Institute. So now it's like very hardcore. Like in my hotel room right now, I have my acrylic paints, I have a drop cloth, I have 3 canvases that I'm traveling with, because I have to, in order to graduate, I need to complete kind of 20 gallery size pieces. So yeah, that is what I do. Like last night, I completed one piece and then I started another. So yeah.
Awesome, thank you.
Thank you.
I'm very pleased with our last question over there, number 1.
My name's Ellen, and I wanted to ask, what was your favourite scene filming Jurassic World?
Oh, thank you for asking that question. Lots of scenes I loved. As much as I joke about it, I do love the scene where I run from the T-Rex. That was very fun. In Jurassic World Dominion, there's a scene where I go underwater for a second. There's a scary dinosaur. Can someone here pronounce it? Therizinosaurus? Is that what it is? I pronounced it correctly? Oh my gosh, I didn't do that when we were shooting it. Everyone was making fun of me. I was like, the Therizinosaurus. It's a really fun scene because it's a oneer, which means that we had to get all of the action in a scene done in one take. And I was going from being dry to being wet. So we only had one shot at it. And so that was really fun because we basically spent the morning rehearsing and figuring out, okay, how are we gonna do this? And I was very buoyant in the water, and we had to kind of weigh me down so that I would be able to dip underwater at the right point. So that was something that was it was a really wonderful experience. I was very nervous about it because I was worried the water would be cold. So I actually remember the date of when we shot it. It was July 22nd and 23rd. Because I kept saying, like, when are we shooting that scene again? When are we doing the underwater scene? They're like, the 22nd and 23rd. I'm like, okay. So it's forever sort of like ingrained in my memory. But the water ended up being very warm and cozy, and it was a lovely experience. So thank you for that question. Thank you.
Everyone, it's been an absolute pleasure talking and meeting with you today. I think everyone found that as well. Before we go, we're going to take a quick picture of us in the front and everyone up on their feet. And bring it into the clothes. I'm going to take all. I was going to say because you look a mess. Bring it all in.
So fun. Love this. There's our backside.
Thank you very much. Guys, you've been amazing. Thank you very much.
Thank you everyone so much.
Thank you.